Good morning through a dirty windshield. I should roll my window up. You don't need to hear the sound of the outside. Blue, sit. It is, December 17th, I think. No, December 18th. It's December 18th. It is a Sunday. I'm telling y'all that because there's a 10 out of 10 chance I won't be posting this today. Firstly, because it's Sunday. Secondly, because I'm working. Won't have time. I don't want to post on the weekends. I'm posting 5 days a week for you all, but for the algorithm, the more you post, the higher the likelihood YouTube says, hey, maybe we should show people this stuff. But also, I don't want to post on the weekends. You know, we all deserve a break. Y'all deserve a break from having to look at me. I deserve a break from having to boop, boop, boop. So, yeah. Once the algorithm starts working in our favor, we'll probably slow down to 2-3 times a week. Give you guys a little bit of a, reprieve. That said, I want to thank each and every one of you who are dedicated to watching, liking, commenting. You've subscribed. You know who you are. I really appreciate you. It's super cool when you mention parts of the video, and I really know you watched it. You guys are my motivation to try to be more entertaining, try to be less boring, just try to do better. So, just know, I'm trying to do better. And y'all are the reason, because it's like, people are actually looking at this. This is cool. I gotta try to, make it fun. We'll see. I am running late, which Sundays I usually do. God bless Lauren. She's a good lady. We had, I wasn't at the farm, but we had a little mini who was colicky last night, and she was out there with him until 10. And, well, don't just jump out in front of me. Don't just jump out in front of me. And the deer. And so she got him pretty stable, but it was like, you're not sick enough to call the vet, but you're not ready, So fingers crossed, prayers going up all night last night, and son got up enough. She looked at him just a few minutes ago and texted me and said he's up and he's grazing with the mini herd. So that's exciting. Mr. Buddy, not Buzzy, Buddy. It's glad to see Buddy's feeling better. We'll see how he eats breakfast this morning. The Patreon post is maybe going to go up by Wednesday. I have a lot of it done, which is exciting. I didn't know if I was going to, I've been saying I don't know what I'm going to get done on it, and I've appreciated y'all's patience, but I think you're going to get one this week, so yay. In other news, my little sister Nicole has started a YouTube and TikTok for her car selling business. She is just a little ham, and so they're going to be, they're funny. Some of y'all have already seen them on Facebook, and so she's really wanting to ramp that up, and I think she should, because that's just golden. So, right now, I think she's just Nicole Gruber on YouTube. I told her, you gotta think of a catchy name. But I'll do my best to, let's see. Here's Buddy, or Buzzy. Here's Buddy. Yeah, he looks good. I will do my best to link that down here somewhere. I'll try to do one of those, I'm going to try to learn how to do the old clicking on the screen thing, but if not, it'll be down in the description box below. So, check her out, and help brainstorm for fun names for her. Her name is Nicole, and she'll be sort of reviewing cars. At first, it'll just be her dealership cars to help draw interest, but eventually, I think she could really go places with that, because she is just a character. So, we're trying to think of funny names. I gotta run. I gotta hurry. I'm running late. So I'm gonna go. Bye. Oh no, this would happen when you're running late, Gross. Oh, the liquid. Oh. Oh, delicious. Oh, that's so good. Oh. Oh no. Man, she's just tippy. She's just tippy today. Let's see. Prop it up. Here we go. Gross. Well, work car. Work car. God bless it. He's feeling better. Fought for his bowl, eating good. Good boy, buddy. Fun fact, that black bucket is Buzzy's and that white bucket is Eva's little bucket that she gets in her feed bag before she eats her big old blue bucket. And those buckets go up to the house because both those horses get extra supplements that I don't keep down at the barn. 9 times out of 10, I will forget to bring the buckets up and I'll have to come back down or try to remember later, and it's just a big mess. So today I've grown a brain, at least for today, because you see that light is on, and that light switch there I have to hit before I go back up. And so in order to hit that light switch, I have to walk right by this bucket and trip over it. And the plan is I trip over it and not walk around it, and I remember to bring it today. So we'll see. Time will tell. I'll update you. Still cleaning up breakfast scraps, so looks to be feeling better. Good boy. Come on, Blue. What a good girl. Oh, big stretch. So I ain't saying I need a reward for being the biggest genius to ever have been a genius, but I am saying in lieu of trophy or plaque that really do nothing, I would definitely be interested in taking cash, check if I have to, or a skid steer with a brush cutting attachment. So just doodly-doot in the comments below and I'll send you my address and you can send me my reward for just being, I mean, just top tier intellect. Just, I don't know how I fit in my car with my mind that is just so big. Look at that. I remembered it. Didn't even have to break my neck. Bust my teeth falling over it. I just grabbed it. I'll show you again. I'll just show you. I grabbed it. First I the switch, and then I grabbed the bucket. Yes.
go visit her, she wants to tell you how mean it is to her. I'm gonna have to turn the sound off. Listen, years later, Lynn's calling up. Why have you done this for my mother? That's all. It's just like, I'm tired of getting in trouble. And let that visit because it doesn't bother him when Lynn, rings him out for whatever. You don't want him to. He will, and you want him to. I'm not interested. There we go. Good boy. Was that fun?
So I've put it on normal speed here, and I'm not sure quite how long we're gonna have together because my battery's low. I got more in the car, but I ain't going to get them now. But I thought this is kind of important because this mare has a bad shoulder. And what that means is that she can stand on this leg fine. This is the shoulder that hurts. But coming under, picking it up and coming under from the bottom is difficult for her. You saw how when I asked her to pick it up, she brought it forward and knocked into Lauren's foot and got her foot on the rope. That's because forward feels good to her. She likes going forward. And so she really struggles with this. And I thought slowing this down and letting y'all see how we tend to something that is painful for them might be beneficial. Lauren's up there. She's got Timothy pellets. She's feeding her, thanking her for doing this because it hurts. This mare's also unmanaged Cushing's, so her feet just don't feel that good anyway. She's very kind, and she certainly tries. You see, holding her foot pretty far forward because this is about as far back as she can go without getting into an argument over how uncomfortable it is. And so you just try to work quick and make the modifications they need. Time comes, I feel she's really, like now, I'm gonna stretch her out forward. She appreciates it. I'm gonna let her take a little break. Thank you for that one. We need this one. Good girl. I do my best to try to keep it as far forward as I can for her physically myself, because I can only keep it so far forward. And the more forward I keep it, the longer she can last for me. But what we run into is my physical limitations as far as to just how far I can keep it up there. Unfortunately, I keep telling her, she doesn't mind you bringing it forward on the stand to do the toe. That feels pretty good. I keep telling her if you wore the bottom better, I wouldn't have to do so much down here. But see, she doesn't use it the same, so she doesn't wear the bottom better. So there's even more work to do under here, bless her heart. Fortunately, for whatever reason, she stands on it great, so I can use her support limb no problem. And despite her being pretty unmanaged, we've not had any laminitis issues out of her support limb outside of her metabolic condition. It's because we keep it trimmed. All right, let's see. Pretty good. Can you wait with me? Good job. Can you wait with me just a little longer? Good job. If you notice, I've not nipped her toe. I'm gonna do that on the stand. She can't tip her toe up far enough while her leg is under her like this to let me nip it, and I can't bend around far enough to nip it without having to tip her toe. So she and I have come to a mutual agreement, and we just nip it from the top. Bless her heart. Here, do you want help? Oh, I know. Oh, big stretch. This part she likes pretty well. Yes, you overachieve. So I did help myself by putting 2 nips on either side where I could, so I know what to follow. On her, I often nip trim. It being winter, I'll roll the sides. And then because she is unmanaged and inflamed, less so because it's winter, I'm just gonna leave her toe nipped. If you've been around, you know why I'll sometimes leave feet nipped, not rasped. If you've not been around, that'll be an article on the Patreon soon enough, so subscribe to that Patreon so you can learn about nipping versus rasping. As you can see, this is a lot easier for her. But what's important here is we listen to them. We don't get in a big, huge fight, especially when they're telling us that they can't do something. We try to work with them the best we can so we can keep servicing them for as long as possible. Because especially with lamenesses where they're going to be using their feet unequally, that support limb is going to be taking a lot more stress. If we argued and she got to the point where she hurt and she wasn't going to let me, that could be a death sentence for her, because those feet are going to get more and more imbalanced, coupled with her metabolic issues. She could founder in that leg and that could be the end. But we work with her. We keep her wanting to work for us despite shoulder hurting worse and worse as she ages. And we help her stay mobile and comfortable and live in her best life as long as possible, because we treat her kindly. That's important, and that's lost on people. So the average horse owner looks over something like this, sees it so brown, and says, but there's nothing to eat out here. They're gonna starve. There's nothing to eat. They can be out during the day. It's all dead. Okay, come with me. Come with me. GoPro's not very good at this kind of stuff, but come. Let's go see. Let's see. Where the light is good, let's look. Let's get down on the ground and let's look at it. Can you see that? Can you see that right there? Do you see it? I see it. You see? Come on, GoPro, do you see it? All right, let me know. Beep boop in the comments if you see it. Do you see what I'm talking about? It's green. It's green and it's new growth. It's new, rich growth. Do you know why? Because we've had rain and we've had, where's it at? There's that little rascal. We've had sun, warm temperatures. Grass doesn't care what season it is. Grass cares what the conditions are. See the fat horse? Horse doesn't care what season it is. Horse cares how rich the grass is. So I know that stuff looks dead. It's the older stuff on top that she's not eating down. It's hiding the new growth underneath of it. You mow that, you're gonna see that stuff right there. She probably poops over there, honestly, which is why she doesn't eat on it. There's implement, she didn't want to go in there. You see that? Tell me you see it. Let's say it again. Grass don't care what season it is. Grass cares what the conditions are. Horse don't care what season it is. Horse cares how rich grass is. If it's sunshiny, grass is growing. Horses shouldn't be out on the grass during the day. Not if that sunshine is shining and that grass is growing. Don't tell me I never told you. I've told you. Told you lots of times. I don't want to hear you acting shocked when something happens. Your horses are out during the day. I've told you, okay? We've had the talk. Sun plus rain equals, don't care about the calendar. I don't even own one. So Duncan and I, our brains have been melting. Feast your eardrums on that baby. I don't know what it is. I've texted the owner. And I said, is it supposed to be making this noise? I don't like it. So we're gonna move. Oh, you just can't get away from it. This is better. Let's see, where else could we go? Poor Duncan, I've left him in there with it. Oh, I'm such a jerk. I bet we could take him all the way out to that gate over there. Yeah, let me go save Duncan. What a jerk I am. Poor Duncan. Oh, Duncan, I'm sorry. Man, I started thinking about where I'm going to take Red. I'm sorry. I've lost a hemisphere or 5. I know, you poor guy. You probably have 2, huh? All right, let's get you out of here. So, we've changed location. It's not quite as loud, but I can still hear it. My ears hurt. I don't know what that is. I'm not an electrician, a mathematician, or a magician, but that's a terrible noise. Me and Red have decided to come out here, and I thought, first, sorry. But hey, if I have to hear it, you have to hear it. Second, I thought that last trim day, Newport day, I talked to y'all about the horses at the end of the day, but today's going to be too long. I'm not doing that. I know I'm not. I'm going to want to take care of my horses and go to bed. I ain't going to want to talk to y'all. So, I figured I'll do what I hate doing, and I'll try to talk and trim. We'll see if you can hear me over the sound of that, the sound of the rasp, the sound of my heart, and the sound of me breathing. I don't know, we'll try. Just like to tell you a little bit about what we saw today so far. We may get to the other half of the horses, or maybe we'll talk about them tomorrow's vlog. I don't know. So, first horse was Toby. Toby is middle-aged, kind of unknown. Toby, his owner found him walking down the street 7 years ago. She opened her gate, he came in. She posted found horse signs for like ever. All over the place, nobody ever claimed him. She's got herself a horse. She doesn't, they live real rural. They don't have internet. She's a smart lady, but just didn't know nothing about horses. Asked the neighbors who have horses, hey, what do I need to do for a horse? And they said, oh, just make sure they have hay. So she did. And 6 years later, Toby couldn't walk, and the vet came out and said, well, you have to trim him. He had laminitis and recommended us, and she's been a great freaking client. She's so cool. She's so into it. She's so invested in him. She just didn't know. It's one of those 100% ignorance kind of things, you know? She actually even volunteers at the farm for us, taking care of our horses when we go give clinics or do continuing education. She is just awesome. So Toby, metabolic, in during the day, out at night. She's doing a real good job. He recently developed allergies in the fly season. Still have not gotten that one figured out. Don't like that. Hoping to catch it early next year and prevent it from happening. He's starting to feel better now, but that was a big mess. Past that, his feet are looking good. His weight looks good. She's doing a real good job, but you have to get a handle on the allergies. Then we saw Buttercup, and she is a donkey. She is probably, I bet she's at least 7 by now. She could be older, she could be 8. I'm not sure how long I've been trimming her. They got her when she was young. That whole crew went through a laminitis deal in this last year. Kind of unknown. They were having some issues with their dry lot and stuff. Things were just sort of needing to be refreshed. Their owners are awesome, though. I should say owner, I think. Just totally awesome. So she definitely got on the ball and started pulling pieces back together. Buttercup can be a little bit of a booger head, so Lauren holds her. She did all right. And her feet are looking a lot better. And then you saw Scout. And Scout is probably older than time itself by now. And I've trimmed for him basically as long as I've been alive. And Scout was at least already legal drinking age at the time I was born. And he's just, I love him. He's so sassy. He was super metabolic and huge orca crest. I mean, he was crazy all his life. And finally got the pieces together and My gosh, he looks like a little show pony now. He looks great. He's Cushing. She treats him. Still has, you know, really pretty ugly little laminated feet. High heel. Not as bad as they were. Always sound. But, I mean, he spent his entire life in that state. We can't expect miracles. But he's happy. He runs around. He's sassy. He feels good. Starting to get hit with a little of the arthritis in the back end, but not bad. Who did we see next? Then we saw Duchess. She probably Cushing's, definitely just IR. Unmanaged. I feel for her. She's a sweet mare. Real bad shoulder. Feet are somehow holding together. It's amazing. Right when the growing season's so bad, you think she's about to get into major trouble. Winter hits and she loses the weight, and that's how she's been sneaking by. It is super depressing. I'm not gonna lie, but she's a sweet mare, so I feel like I owe it to her to take care of her until I can't anymore. Lauren's helping this client with her dogs, so we may be interrupted here soon. I'm gonna pause you and I'm gonna keep working, and if they just drive past me, I'll start you back up and I'll tell you about these little guys. Buddy. Now we gotta move everything. Thank you. How's that? Can't tell. Screen protector's coming off the screen. Here, move it there and we'll call it a day. Yeah, I think y'all can see. Client to the rescue. She came down and she turned off that awful noise. Evidently, this barn is ran on solar. Everything from the fences to the tank heater to the lights. She turned lights on for me in the barn because it's dark, and evidently that's the noise it makes. It decides to use what little energy it has left to make that noise when your batteries run low. So, good choice. Good choice. So I guess my storytelling, we're here, aren't we? First little guy is Piper the donkey. He was a little stud up until just recently, right before she got him. And he is the sweetest little guy you can ever ask for. He was actually, if you followed Primarily Hooves for any length of time, he was actually the one at my farm. I have videos of bathing and whatever. We gelded him at Primarily Hooves and got him a little handleable. He's a little cattle donkey, but he pretty near foundered out there, so he needed a new lifestyle. We took him, got him handleable for this client, and she loves him. I have Lauren hold him though because he's gotten a little spoiled and he can be a little fussy about having his feet done here recently, and when he is fussy, there ain't no talking to him from the bottom of his foot. So Lauren holds him so she can discuss, discussions at his head, where his brain is. That helps. Be by the brain. Then you saw Annabelle. She came from another client of mine who breeds minis. It's where I got Diego and my Caroline from. My Caroline and Miss Annabelle are actually half sisters. Annabelle can have a little hind end trouble. Haven't exactly put our fingers on what plagues her, but past that, she's got real nice feet, real easy going. Supposedly, I think she's had a little bit of riding. I've saddled her. Don't think I've had anybody on her yet, though. Then we have Duncan. He's a real good boy. He is rideable, under 40 pounds, and pulls a cart. Nice feet also. And then we have Red. Red here has done just a little bit of driving. He came real afraid. Him and Duncan were the first two. This thing just keeps dinging. I'm just kind of sick of it. Him and Duncan were the first two, and the Rona ended up getting hurt and sending them to primarily host for both boarding while she recovered and training. And Red, she had just gotten him. Red Dancer was real timid, afraid, nervous, anxiety-ridden. So we put a lot of time into him to get him feeling a little better. And he feels quite a bit better. He's not 100% confident, but he feels quite a bit better. Enough so that I've actually ridden in a sled in the snow behind him and pulling the sled, which is a pretty big deal and a lot of fun. And Dancer was already started to drive, so he needed some finishing work. I'm not going to say he stayed long enough to get finished, so I'll say he got some middling work. And then, I guess a few years later, she had Annabelle then. She needed a little reprieve to kind of get her lot in order because it just got too muddy the winter before. So she boarded them last winter with us, just to board, while she kind of worked on the mud situation. So me and these guys were best friends, even though sometimes they don't believe me. Like them a lot, but you'll notice, here, let's see. You'll notice, and I don't know, maybe the time lapse goes too fast, but I poke everybody in the sides at this house. So the reason I'm doing that, point you back down to the leg. The reason I'm doing that, because the two boys, when she first got them, they were extremely obese. And she had a little trouble getting the weight off of them. You're too low. There you go. Let's see, there's his foot. She had a little trouble getting the weight off of them, but then she got hurt. They came to my place. I got them slimmed down, sent them back looking good. She had a little trouble keeping the weight off. By the time they came back last winter, they weren't as bad as they were, but they were fatter than they needed to be. Got the weight off again, brought them back this spring, and she's like, we're not going back there again. And she wants me to check, she wants me to feel, she wants me to tell her, and she's been kicking butt with their weights. They're doing excellent. She was used to, before these guys, she had thoroughbreds. And there's a bit of a difference between a miniature horse and a thoroughbred. And so that learning curve was sharp, steep, real curvy. But she's done a great job getting them where they need to be. I know, I'm sorry, I'm pulling your fur. You got so much of it. Very important to feel for those ribs, even under that winter coat. People forget about that. They see the coat and they just forget that there should be ribs under it. I should be able to just feel them. The other thing I kind of want y'all to think about here, maybe you can see it in the time lapses, maybe you can't. You can see it now. It's how much moving around I'm doing compared to the standard horse. A lot of times people will fuss over why farriers don't charge less for minis. Now I personally, right now, I do. I may not forever. Right now I do. Some farriers don't. Hold on. Puppy brigade was passing by. Warren's exercising the dogs for Clarice. Anyway, some farriers don't charge less for minis. They'll charge just as much as they will for a big horse. Some farriers, trimmers, don't even do minis. Now, don't know how much longer I'll be charging less for minis, but as long as I trim, I'll do my best to always offer the services, because I don't believe that any horse should get denied hoof care, regardless of breed or size, as long as the behavior is good. So that's the big thing, is just make sure your animals stand. That said, the people say, oh, well, their feet are smaller. You know, it's not as much work. Don't know if you've noticed, but really, it's taken me just as much time to get through this. Granted, I'm talking, but it's taking me just as much time to get through this as the average horse, and I'm moving a whole lot more. I'm changing positions a whole lot more. Average horse, you really got the general positions that you get into to do the bottom of a front foot, do the top of a front foot, do the bottom of a back foot, do the top of a back foot. Whereas these guys, if I need to get here, there, he's so good that I can sit and I'm able to reach really a lot of the foot, at least this foot sitting. Can't do it so much on my other side. But some of the other ones that aren't quite as good, there was just so much, you were everywhere. There was so much moving around trying to find the position. It is more work because they're smaller and you don't fit under them well. And the tools don't fit under well. Trying to fit a tool, I mean, look at the size of my tool. Trying to fit a tool in through here. Look at that. It is not easy. So, first, make sure your minis behave. Second, I am so sorry. But they're horses too. People get minis thinking they're discount horses. They're not. Oh, you naughty sucker. You naughty sucker. Get back here. They're not discount horses. Minis are horses too. They need to be treated like horses, and they can cost as much as horses. And I'm sorry for that, but it's part of it. Learn to trim them yourself. Learn to trim them yourself. Learn to trim all of them yourself. You know? You should just learn to trim. Oh, settle down. Why haven't you learned to trim yet? I think it's the best thing an owner can do. That way, you're in charge of your horse's health. You see things changing. You're not relying on somebody else to tell you if there's thrush, or to tell you if there's things going on, and what if they don't tell you? You're the one right there in that moment. And, let's be honest, you're going to save money. I am all for every able-bodied person, horse owner, trim their own. I think nobody knows their horse better than the person who lives with me. I do my best to notice how they're walking, how they're moving, how they're striding, how things are swinging. But I don't live with them every day. I don't see all the terrain they cross and how they're doing on it, what they feel like under saddle on varying surfaces, da-da-da. You do. Trim your horses. Right? I can find something and I can just roll with it, can't I? It doesn't take much. Does not take much for me to get caught on a thought. This is a good boy. Yes, it is. This is a very good boy. Pretty little mini foot. Pretty little mini foot. There you go. Boop. 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 Pop these gloves off and give this boy a snack. He deserves it. Do you deserve a pony snack? What do you think? Do you deserve a pony snack? Yes? Were you a sweet boy today? I like this one a lot. We spent a lot of time together when he was really, really nervous. And while he still looks pretty nervous, it's so much better than he was. Even his back feet have straightened out, because he used to just be so uptight and just so he'd rope walk real bad behind. I mean, his back feet have straightened out just because he's not quite as upset. Now, without as consistent a handling, reverts just a little bit, but sorry about that. Better died. Red and I were just trying to tell you that, I think what we were trying to explain, was that he's done a lot better now with going lengths of time without handling and not like losing the plot, reverting. Whereas originally, if you worked with him consistently, he'd do really well. And then if you skipped, a week, he'd kind of go back. Whereas now he's not had consistent, really intense handling in quite some time. And he's really kind of staying even. Not as good as he was, but still catchable, handleable, feeling okay about it. Lauren and her tired pack of German Shepherds. That is funny. No, we do not whine. We don't whine. I'm sorry. It's just, we don't whine. You know, if I'm not allowed to cry, he's not allowed to cry. That sounds fair, doesn't it? If anybody should cry, it should be me. I have reasons to cry, but here I am. Not crying. Man up. No. That's politically incorrect or something. Cowboy up. I like that. All right, on to the next. It hit me. There's really nothing stopping me from voiceovering the actual trim. You know, I mean, as much as repetitive music is enjoyable, we could probably save a little time by talking about the horse while I'm doing the horse. So, new idea. This is Buck. He is pretty young, early teens, and he's gaited. He's a very good boy, and he takes great care of his owner on trail rides. He absolutely has lovely feet. Battles just a very light little bit of separation, but past that, really, truly lovely feet. A little stiff behind, but all in all, a really, really nice guy. Oh, Teddy. Teddy is a 3 to 4 year old quarter horse, and Teddy has been a victim of all that is wrong in the show world. Teddy is boarded at the farm you see him at, and Teddy's owners love him enough that they recognized the early start and the early bad hoof care Teddy was not holding up to. And they are going to do what Teddy needs to help him rehab from what this life has caused for him. Central sulcus infections all 4 feet, high-low, hind end that is really, really fascinating. He has a lot to recover from. We've probably been working on him maybe 2 months now, and he's made some progress. It's amazing. And the farm owner is doing a wonderful job taking care of him, treating the sulcus infections, and really just putting the time in to help give this guy the best chance. Mr. Pistol. I love Pistol. Pistol is He's probably 15 or 16 years old now. American Paint Horse. He is fun. He is smart. He is sassy. I spent a few years ago, helping his young girl have a better relationship with him. He kind of had bested her a bit because he was an ex-barrel horse, so he was very hot and scared her a little bit. But man, he was just like, oh, you mean I don't have to be that way anymore? Okay, cool. I would prefer not to be. He's a super, super sweet guy. I like him a lot. He, super long toe, underrun heel, real long pasterns. So standing him up is a big deal. His owner, his little girl's mother, she was trimming him for a while, and her life has gotten kind of busy. And so I've taken back over. I had taught her how to trim. So she was trimming him, and the next one, Bella. Life's gotten busy. We've taken back over, and he's a good boy. Last but not least is Miss Bella. Bella and Pistol are owned by the family. Teddy is being boarded at the family's farm, and the family is who's taking care of Teddy. Bella is the total, complete opposite of Pistol. Bella has always been really low-key, easygoing, a little shut down, and as to opposite ties Pistol's long toe underrun heel, Bella has more of a clubby, upright, coffee can type foot. She's also a paint horse, and she is in her early 20s, making significant progress, lowering the back of her foot, getting her back foot actually on the ground, to which she has appreciated. I had a bit of a speech to put on the end of this day. I've recorded it 2 different times, and evidently I had deleted it. It's for the better. I think it's God's way of telling me I need to, marinate on it, because I was struggling with it coming out a little too raw. Important thing to talk about, but I think this is my message to say I need more time to just, like I said, marinate on it, think about it, and think about how to talk about it to come off the best. So, there was supposed to be something at the end of this, and instead, you just get me saying the word marinate a couple times. Enjoy!